In the weeks since Ed Piskor's passing, I've been sitting with some pretty uncomfortable thoughts. In late March, after two women came forward with allegations of sexual misconduct, Ed Piskor, the man behind Cartoonist Kayfabe, X-Men Grand Design, and Hip Hop Family Tree, lost gallery exhibitions, contracts, and according to him, his partner with Cartoonist Kayfabe, Jim Rugg, parted ways with him. About a week later, Ed took his own life after posting a very long and detailed note denying some of those allegations, acknowledging but explaining others from his perspective. This left me feeling really upset because Piskor was someone I regarded as extremely talented and undersung up until that point. And now he is dead. And it left me really wondering, as a person who has supported Me Too, as a person who believes women when they come forward, including Ed Piskor's own accusers, it has left me asking, is this what we want? Because I don't think that that could be the goal. And I think there's definitely an alternative. So I'd like to talk about it. Stick around. I'm Dan Umpton, and this is the Doomcast. First of all, do me a favor, hit subscribe and the bell. I make about one of these videos a week. They're all great, so please don't miss even one. Content warning, I guess. We're gonna talk about sexual assaults, not graphically, but around the concept and some uncomfortable issues. So just be prepared going in that that's what's gonna get discussed. Anyway, Ed Piskor was an undeniably talented artist. There's zero dispute of that. I don't think there's anyone that disagrees. He knew and invested himself in the comic industry that didn't yet love him in the same way. There's no dispute there. He also used his YouTube channel to help other artists and creators grow and understand the comics and cartooning industry. He also had conversations via direct message with one woman who was under 18 during 2020 that most people, including myself, would construe as, at the very least, pretty problematic and entirely improper. Another woman had accused him also of trading sexual favors for access to industry connections, which Ed publicly disputed and stated that they had consensual sex twice. The latter has since removed their statements from public social media. I'm not naming those accusers despite their publicly coming forward for a couple of reasons. In part, a record of their accusations exists in public form on the internet. This isn't a referendum on them as people or their decision to come forward. They are not responsible for what happened at all. Also, Ed's suicide note denying the latter and accepting responsibility for bad judgment in the former also exists. I do also want to note that when a person takes their own life, as uncomfortable as this is to talk about, their friends, family could not have stopped it. It is not the responsibility of the women that came forward. I'm the only person who bears responsibility, unfortunately, is Ed. But it is a lot, and it is also incredibly sad, to say the least. I'm not here to go to bat for Ed Piskor as a person or as an artist, despite having respected him, or to go to bat for the accusers or denigrate him or denigrate them or question the veracity of anyone's story here. I have to ask, though, all things being equal, is this the result that we want? Do we want people dead, or do we want restorative justice and reconciliation? Because I don't think this is that result. And I think everyone could agree with that. Ed Piskor was roughly my age, and I understand the feeling of being an artist of any kind after 30 and still working to make a living with it or hope for public success. It's frustrating, it's challenging, and there's no question that he had talent. No question, as I have said, his accusers do as well. There's absolutely should not be any fear for women or men who are mistreated and suffer sexual, psychological, or physical abuse at the hands of any person in an artistic community or industry from coming forward, letting people know that an instance, much less a pattern, of abuse exists to tell their story and to keep a community safe. But after that, what do we want? What do we want with Jason Latour or Warren Ellis or anybody else in the comics or film industry that's been Me Too'd? Obviously, if somebody's committed a crime, something our legal system recognizes as breaking the law, that person needs to go through the legal system and receive due process, pay their debt to society or prison time or whatever judgment they mete out. But what about stuff like this? Like with Warren Ellis, there was a 20-plus year history of pretty well documented psychological and emotional abuse, a multitude of accusations from multiple women about his misconduct. All of that also public, unquestionably reprehensible, also regarding a writer that I honestly loved up until that point. None of it, however, as far as I understand, because there could be other stuff that I'm not aware of that actually was like something chargeable. But what I read was terrible enough. It made me angry just to hear that he was the awful bastard that he was so good at writing all of those years. They're pretty clear cut. But what should we do with someone like Ed Piskor were he still alive? What does justice there look like when there's nothing explicitly actionable in criminal or civil courts? What do you do? I absolutely agree there's got to be consequences, and absolutely acknowledge that there's an implicit bias here because I'm a man. But I also don't know if that person, either Ed or Warren, should be functionally barred from working in the industry ever again. Maybe they should. Maybe Warren Ellis should be. I don't know if Ed Piskor should have been. I'm sure we all agree that we don't want people like Ed or Warren or Jason Latour or Cameron Fletcher or anyone else to take their own life. Certainly not. Should someone lose every professional opportunity that they have because they did reprehensible things? Even just two reprehensible things, or maybe one really stupid thing and one very questionable thing. Again, maybe. I don't think that we can reasonably want someone, even someone who is or was an abuser, to suddenly suffer such grievous public outrage over accusations from what I believe are very real experiences, that they take their own lives as a result. That can't be justice. It's not justice when people mob an accuser for coming forward. It's not justice when women are silenced. It's not justice when people are questioned or not taken seriously. And it can't be justice when someone has no path to restoration or reconciliation if they are willing to take that action and responsibility. Do we want changed behavior or do we want dead men? Because we're not currently, through our current system of public shaming to no end whatsoever and damnatio memoria, teaching men how to be good or how to be allies, or even teaching predators how to change. We're just teaching them to be smarter about how they predate, or even teaching dumb men how to be better. We're teaching predators how not to get caught, and I think that that's probably the wrong lesson. Do we want people dead and completely erased, damned to a memory hole, their art and their work rejected and forgotten forever? Or do we want an agreed upon path through which a person who has wronged people can experience clear and appropriate consequences from their community, demonstrate contrition, apologize, acknowledge their actions, take responsibility, restore broken trust, atone, ask for forgiveness, and reconcile with the rest of their community? I get the notion is uncomfortable because it requires nuance. It requires a lot of compassion, even for people who are probably pretty bad people and some who are maybe just dumb. But it also doesn't satisfy the deep well of rage that we all have inside of us because we all know something's wrong with the world. And I get that. I have people in my life who have publicly and very deeply wronged me. I have survived abuse as well. Would I like those people to experience consequences? Yes, absolutely. Would I like them to hurt as much as I hurt? Sometimes, yeah, I would. I would like as little as a sincere apology, though. As little as public acknowledgement that what I went through was wrong. And would I like some consequences? Yeah, I'd love consequences. But do I think that person or people should be barred from their community forever? No. Not if they want to demonstrate contrition and trustworthiness. Do I want them to take their own lives? Absolutely not. First and foremost, it's going to take men, male peers, and allies just openly telling their friends that their behavior is wrong or even questionable, to still be able to stand with friends who make mistakes, or to call out friends who do genuinely evil shit and say, look, these things were wrong. Here's what you have to do to atone. Here's your path back. But we've got to be able to arbitrate problems within our communities to give people who do something that's wrong, but not illegal, a path back towards being part of that community once again, if it's possible. I think the comics community and any artistic community really needs an independent, ad hoc, mutually agreed upon council for resolution of wrongs like this. Things that toe the line of legality, that can take accusations like these to an odd-numbered board of a council of women and men who will be fair-minded, review and open any and all accusations, and then through a due process with both the accused and accuser present, be able to mete out social and maybe financial consequences to the accused if guilty, establish and require a clear path of contrition, apology, restoration, atonement, and reconciliation before that person is welcomed back in their community or those consequences are lifted. Maybe for some people, there is no path back. Maybe some people don't want it. A lot of people are incapable of changing their behavior. Monsters exist. We all have to agree on that. For repeated offenses, for a pattern of unchanged behavior and abuse, absolutely. Nail that fucker to the wall, let them rot. Completely ostracize them from your community. But for people who are capable of change and want a path back, that make a mistake, I know this isn't as satisfying as ruining their life, but it would save lives as well. And that's what we want, is people to change and to be better. Again, I'm not putting this result on anyone else, but it is up to everybody in every artistic community to try and find a better way to handle these kinds of things, and to see that justice is meted out satisfactorily without anyone actually losing their life over any of it. I know this is a lot, and I don't really know what this would look like perfectly. I'm just thinking about it, but right now anything would be better than the current system of suddenly and arbitrarily making someone so socially radioactive that they feel that taking their own lives is the only option. That is not working. It isn't fixing the problem. It isn't making men better. Restorative justice means treating all parties like human beings, creating a path to reconciliation, making that available and encouraging corrected behavior for people who are capable of it. No system of justice is perfect for the accusers or the accused, but I think that we should expect men to be better and do better as we can and should expect that of ourselves and male allies and of our whole communities. In any case, I'm sure that this makes everybody on every side of this issue kind of upset, as nuance tends to. But if you have thoughts, please leave them in the comments. Once again, I'm Dan Umphin. Thanks a lot for watching. This has been the Doomcast. We'll see you again next week. Peace.